Mike, start with you and we'll go. Then
Okay,
Bob
this
and
is
me.
Mike. Can you guys hear me?
Gotcha.
Bob, Bob,
Bob Fleck.
Jim Long, Sue.
Sue Zapinski.
Karen Moffett.
Okay.
Now I'd like to call to order the meeting of July 22nd, 2020, being held remote for reasons because of the COVID-19 pandemic. Bob, roll call, please.
Commissioner Long,
Here.
Commissioner Zapinski,
Here.
Commissioner Moffett,
Here.
Commissioner Connolly,
Here.
Commissioner Karish is not present.
Yes.
Director Fleck, present.
Okay, Bob, we're going to go right into, I never did get an agenda. Did everybody get an agenda sent? I didn't get one either.
I'm sorry, it's a repeat of all the.
Okay, well, we've been, so we're going to go right into effect of the pandemic on our operations. I would assume that's your first. So go ahead, Bob, update us on what's happening.
First point of reference is, if you haven't seen it, I forwarded the email yesterday from IEPD. The state and the governor has created new districts for COVID, and used to have the regions before. Now we're into different zones. We are zone 8, and we are lumped together in terms of the recording and the numbers of COVID with Kane County. So they're our partner. And you know, what happens with us is different than what's going to happen with Cook County, with Lake County, with McHenry County. So Kane and DuPage are now together. We're holding steady. We're still at for the area in the state, we're still at a 3% positivity rate, which is, you know, solid, I guess, in terms of the numbers, if you want to look at it as positively as we can. If things do start to change, they will change by zone, and there are some new mitigation rules that will go into effect. They're still, like everything else has been, they're vague. We don't really know what they are, but the easiest way to describe it, there'll be a rollback in terms of the guidelines and how we're able to operate. We hope it won't happen. You know, we hope we keep charting the course, but that's always a reality, as it is with every state. You know, we know that, you know, if we continue to just follow the guidelines, the rules, wear masks, as you keep hearing, we should be okay and be able to continue to operate as we're operating. But for now, we're still in phase 4 and we're moving along. No change there. I'm going to start with the fitness club. Our new hire, Chris Evans, he has completed all his paperwork. His start date is Monday, August 10th. That's when he'll be in, and we'll have orientation all week long with him. And we're continuing to try. We're going to get a couple more staff back that were part-time staff who did not return due to delayed surgeries. Those are kind of working themselves out. So that will help us, and we're looking to hire, you know, a couple more people as we go into the fall season. We've just added a young man who is a student at COD. He was away at college, but now he's going to go back and work at COD, or go to school at COD. His dad is working for us on the maintenance crew. So his name's Ahmad, and it's nice to have a young face in there, a college kid who is helping us out. And he's picked up the Friday shift and the weekend shift. So we are now open on weekends, and starting next Monday, we're going to bump things a little earlier. We're going to start opening at 7 a.m. So little by little, we are expanding and doing more at the club, as long as we continue to operate as we have been operating. Numbers on the club, we have lost since we opened The new number for cancellations is 41 memberships have canceled. 20 have signed up. To be clear, 11 of those 20 are summer college memberships for the summer. So 9 of those are full annual memberships. So that is the tail of the tape. We knew we were going to lose some. I think we're pretty solid overall, all things considered there. The numbers are of people coming in, picking up as well. So we're starting to see, I know I was in Monday's class with Rob, with Sue's husband, and we had a few more. Every week we have more people, the numbers grow. And the good thing about that gym, we've got plenty of room there to spread out for those classes. And everybody is happy we're open and respecting the rules and the guidelines.
Do you do those in the gym?
Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Golf course, nothing to report there other than the golf course is just doing well. It continues to do well. We see no slowdown in the tee times and the bookings. So that's really positive. We're very happy. One thing that has also increased, we mentioned it before, but it continues to just uptick, and that is the amount of bookings for lessons with Brad Paya, who is doing the lessons out there. And I know, Karen, your daughter took some of the clinics out there. I think she enjoyed it.
Yeah, they
And
were great.
maybe that's why she is such a great golfer now.
She likes it.
But more and more people are taking advantage of that. So he's busy, and that is another revenue source for us out there. Golf's hot. Very excited about that. We're up a little bit on day camp. We're up to 35 this week. That's good. So we got a few more people, a few more families enrolled in day camp. No changes there. That continues to go very well. The kids, I think, are, from what I hear, getting more comfortable with having to wear masks and go through that. And one thing they've done a good job of instituting is they're giving the kids no mask time, giving them a break from masks. And they make sure they do that in the park when they can, you know, spread out and have a little more room. And that goes a long way, getting the kids through the day.
Well,
Bob, do
good.
you know what's the youngest kid? Like 5?
In camp,
Yeah.
I think 6 or 7. I could be wrong on that, but and I'm going off, I never got that actual,
Yeah,
but going off of having been down there and see them, I'm going to guess 6 or 7.
and go all the way up to like 5th grade kind of thing.
We have some junior high in there.
Junior high too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think we have about 8 or 9 junior high kids.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. And again, numbers are down, but they're down everywhere. But we've never dropped. We've stayed steady all summer long on day camp. Been very positive. The big thing I'll talk seniors. Some activity with seniors. You know, the art class, you may have seen in my report, the art class came back, but they're spread out just like we were for the board meeting. Thrilled to be back. Pickleball's going on. Other than that, there's not really much happening on this with the seniors, and that is going to continue to be delayed. We'll just run certain things where we know confidently they can do and be spread out and safe while they're doing it. Going into fall, this is the 800-pound gorilla in the room that we're dealing with right now. What's going to happen with the schools, how that is going to play out, how it's going to impact us and charge us to provide additional help and services for the families of Westmont. We're going at it with the best information we have and making a plan. But what's happening at District 60 with Marker, and Karen probably could talk more about it. They took their vote last night. They're headed right now in a different direction than District 201. not doing things the same, that's for sure. And are we going to provide only after-school care? Are we going to do an all-day? Are we going to do a hybrid? So we'll start with District 60. And the numbers I heard from Superintendent Sean Nugent said that their survey told them about 80% of the families want their kids back in school full-time. And they took the vote, and it was 7-0. Karen, you're back to school.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'll be
So
in.
the kindergarten through second graders are back all day
Mhm.
because they have the room to social distance, but third through eighth are back for half day.
Right.
And then they remote learn. Have you had that meeting with Sean Nugent yet?
We had the meeting yesterday before the vote was taken. So I did hear from him that that was the outcome. And I understand now the next thing is by Wednesday, they have to hear from the families to find out who's going to opt in and opt out. They're giving the families a choice, correct?
Right, you can do all remote. But that's like outsourcing through a different company providing that curriculum. So I think most families will send their kids.
Okay.
But I
Yeah.
mean, can the park districts help with that at all, with this half day? It's such a mess, I feel like. It's a mess.
We are having discussions for multiple scenarios on this right now. It's easier for Marker to do this. The reason, they're in complete control of their own bus service. They own their buses. District 201,
Rent, leases.
they contracted out, and that same bus service is dealing with many other school districts. Coordinating that, it practically takes a computer algorithm to figure all this out, and all the schools doing a different scenario, who's in, who's out, who's doing a half day through the alphabet. It makes your head spin.
Mhm.
So what did
focusing right-
201 do, Bob, that's different?
Well, 201, it looks like, and this is not guaranteed because their vote is not till August 4th.
Oh,
And understand, part of their challenge too has, and I feel for Kevin right now, the transition of the 3 vacant positions on the board during all of this too, which they are in the process of interviewing and trying to fill these positions next week. You imagine
Yeah,
all the irons in the fire he's got going
Wait.
on right now.
Who left besides Marie Charleston?
Judy Wilson resigned. And then they had another individual, I forget his name because I did not know him. He's resigned for health reasons.
I thought he resigned right when Charleston resigned.
Yeah.
Those two were the first two.
Wasn't Gary
Looks-
Armstrong or
Gary's
Joel
No.
Price?
Joel Price
Joel-
is president.
And Gary
Price-
Armstrong's still on there?
Yes.
Yeah.
So they've got to get through some of these other things to be able to have enough members on the board to be able to take these votes as well.
What a bad time to leave. Wow.
well,
Yeah, yeah. And where they're looking
Wow.
at right now is they're going to mix things up. So K through kindergarten and first grade are going to be at Miller School. They're better set up to do that over there. Manning has more. So second through fifth is going to be at Manning School.
Wow, so they're going to community schooling, which was a big
In a sense,
argument
yes.
all along. They
Yeah.
didn't want that.
Yeah.
They didn't
yeah.
want that. That was like a big no for
And
years
here
and
they are.
years.
Here they are.
They didn't even
Yeah.
tell anybody they're doing that.
And
Wow,
the elementary
maybe.
school is going to be different than the junior high, and that's going to be different than the high school. So the lower grades are going to be in every day for a half day, much like Marker, it sounds like. Again, this is the expectation. The junior high is going to do every other day. So half the kids will be in on Tuesday, Monday, half the kids on Tuesday. Wednesday, they're all off at the junior high. And then Thursday, Friday. And then the high school is doing something completely different.
Wow.
So if you've got kids at every one of those schools,
Oh my gosh.
I wonder, I'm not making light of the situation, there's going to be a parent who's going to forget where their kid is on what day.
Yeah.
So can we help out, be part of the solution? Can we provide the service, create some revenue for the park district?
Did you say their elementaries are doing half days up to 5th grade? You said the junior high's all day. K through 5, they're doing half day? Is that what you said?
I'm questioning myself if it's half day or full day for K through 5.
Right, if they're spreading them out and changing the buildings, why wouldn't they just do all day? They could eat in their classrooms and,
No, K through 5 is all day.
Okay.
Junior high, I believe, is half day.
Junior high is half day. So that is like what we're doing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so can we step in and fill a void in a need for some of these parents? That's what we're seeing if we can make happen. Staffing's going to be interesting for us, but we got some thoughts on moving ahead with that. There's also the possibility, and started this conversation today with both superintendents, maybe we look at trying to create satellites, because transportation is going to be a possibility for us if we're only allowed 7 kids on a bus.
yeah.
And with how many kids we can keep in the community center, yes, we can use some room over here in the senior center lounge and the rooms upstairs, but we're still going to have a maximum capacity that we're dealing with. We may look at, can we provide this service at Manning School? Can we provide it at Miller School? Can we provide it at Marker School?
Well, if I can jump in, our learning plan for Marker School and Westview Hills Middle School, all the specials teachers and PE, our portion is online.
Yes.
So we
I
were
heard that.
talking today at a meeting, the kids are not even going to be allowed to go into the gym. They're going to be at school, they're going to be cordoned off into like one area. So my point is maybe you could use the gyms there and keep the Westview kids there, the Marker kids there.
Right.
And then just bring park district staff there to watch if it's a space thing.
Yeah.
It might be win-win.
The only thing I don't understand, Karen, is why would we go into their gym to supervise recreation when they don't want to do it? You said they're not using their gym teachers or their.
Well, we're teaching it online because they want the kids there half a day. So if you're at the beginning of the alphabet, A through L, you're in the morning. They don't want anybody eating lunch there. It's grab and go if you're on, if you get a lunch. And then the end of the alphabet is in the afternoon. So that's obviously not enough time to go through all of their classes at school. So what are they doing? They're doing math, they're doing reading, they're doing social studies, they're doing science at school. So music and art and home ec and gym is still online. So,
Okay, but so where would our fill-in be for us to be necessary? Are you saying so they're actually they're using the building morning and afternoon and probably
that's
finishing
true.
at
They probably,
3.
you're right.
So what are we going to do? We're going to go in and put in gym supervision from 3 till 5 to help people who aren't at home when their kids get done with school. Okay, which is what we had been doing with our own after-school program, which they were bused to our facility. And you're saying, Bob, maybe it would be where we would go and set it up in their gyms at Marker or wherever.
And there's no fall sports for the middle schools.
Correct.
That's all.
Mm-hmm.
So there'll be
I don't
nothing
know
after
what
school.
I don't know what the gain would be.
Oh,
But
Jim, the numbers we can serve. We may only be able to get 30 kids in our community center and only be able to shuttle 7 kids at a time on a bus. We can't get them.
I know that, Bob. I'm saying there's more to this than just us providing. It is transportation. So how are we going to coordinate with buses to get the kids to us? And then so you're saying everybody would be picked up at our site So we would bus them home?
No.
No.
They would just stay at the school and our staff would go to the school.
Okay. And then how do they get home from school at 5 o'clock or 6
Parents.
o'clock?
The parents pick them up, just like they would at our facility.
Okay.
So is it just the size of the facility, Bob, or is it the transportation of the kids? What's driving that?
Both.
Okay. Because I would think first student, instead of dropping the kids off, when they run their route to drop them off wherever they drop them, they could just take them all to the Park District.
You know,
Right.
They won't, we've tried that,
we've
right?
tried
They
that
won't
before.
do that.
They won't do it.
Really?
And we can't do it for Marker because the Park District's not in their district.
Mhm.
So they won't, they can't cross
Oh.
district lines. And then 201, for some reason, they wouldn't do it. They wouldn't run a route where the kids could get dropped off.
And all we
Even
had-
though the bus goes right by there, but they wouldn't.
Okay. Because we do that.
two,
Do you? See, to me,
Yeah.
that makes so much sense. And maybe they will do it now with COVID. Maybe they would, but
That's true that the bus goes right by there. I've gotten caught behind that bus a few times, so
Yeah,
that they won't even take kids from the Park District. That's terrible.
So
Or
what we're
like from Ann.
providing is to the families that are at work, we're the after-school facilitator for them. And we can handle about 30 at and meet the state requirements, Bobby. Is that what you're saying? You
we're
couldn't
gonna
handle more
look
than
at it some
30?
more and see if we can get more than 30, but right now at first glance, we're comfortable with 30. But
Yeah.
do we use more of the building? How can we accommodate more? Is this going to explode with the demand for it? And if it explodes, that's where we just keep the kids at the schools. They have more space and the kids are already there.
But, okay, and what you gotta figure out, what is the restriction at the schools? I'm assuming you can't have more than 50 in the gym. That's the max under the guidelines we're in right now?
It'd be more than just the gym. Gym wouldn't be the only space we use.
Or
Yeah, they
you'd
have
go
a
into,
food
Common
Classrooms?
area,
you'd go into classrooms, Bob?
or the common area.
And then you got issues with them on cleaning them and
Well, yeah, that's just like we're doing with our own facilities. Mhm.
I know. So who's gonna pay for that? Who's gonna do that? This is something that's gotta totally be coordinated with the
Yep.
school districts.
You're correct. Mhm. Yeah, and not knowing what 201's doing yet, we're going to have to move pretty quickly on this, but we are prepared to do something. and
I mean,
make
do you
this
think there's
happen.
demand for before school? If some of them are going in the afternoon and they're off in the morning?
What was our preschool before school before, Bob? How many kids, do you recall?
That
10,
wasn't very many.
10, yeah.
No, there weren't many. It was after school, Mike, that we were.
I know,
very
but it's
heavy.
changed now, Jim, right? Because now some of the kids aren't gonna go in the morning to
You
school.
got it. Yes,
So
yeah.
This-
they still may have to go to work at 8 o'clock and they want to drop them off somewhere.
So we
Yeah.
could be doing something, and we're well aware of this. We could be doing something throughout the day.
Yeah, that's what I was getting at.
Mhm. Yeah.
Wow.
But those kids are supposed to, at least in our district, they're supposed to be e-learning. They're supposed to be on a schedule. So like we're doing now, they're supposed to be in a Zoom call from 7:40 to 8:20 with one teacher, and then from 8:20 to, what I
Oh,
mean?
really? Okay.
So it would really just be like proctoring a class. It should be.
That's a good description, Karen. Yes. And we're already looking at the rooms upstairs at the community center, for example, rooms 1 and 2, right when you walk in. That might be an e-learning room.
Mhm.
And that's exactly what would
Children whose parents have to go to work get dropped off at our community center. We set them up in these rooms where we keep social distancing.
They wear their masks.
They'd have to have their own PC and everything, right? Or
For technology, Bob?
all they need is Wi-Fi.
okay, all
Mhm.
right.
Yeah, it's like
That's-
this.
That may work electronically. I don't know how much we can do recreation wise. That probably is gonna come with a lot more requirements.
Would it be like that for the students that are done at noon as well? They would have classes in the afternoon?
And they would flip-flop.
They would have e-classes.
So we wouldn't really have to
Listen.
be providing a lot of sports and entertain, or you know what I mean, like programs. We
necessarily.
would just, it's almost like a library. We just need to give them a place with Wi-Fi where they could make the call and participate.
Yeah, you know.
Yeah, some
in
adult supervision.
One of
Yeah.
the terms to try and, sell this is, we may be creating a safe zone for families during the day.
Yeah, yeah.
Or
Well,
I just
and
want to get the
remember,
kids out because I got a meeting at 2:00.
Well, what I was gonna say is, you remember, the schools are doing this also. They don't spread the virus or their kids don't get it. So we really have to kind of follow a plan also, just delivering them all to us and then still not meeting all the social requirements. That's why they're splitting up so if I'm following this correctly, we're looking at maybe having something when school ends, 3:00, whatever, which would bring back both the morning and afternoon, because the morning attendees at school do e-learning in the afternoon. And then now the question is, and I think, Karen, so here's the other problem. So if they're e-learning at 1:00 or 12:30 or whenever they get out, their parents are already at work. So are they going to be needing protected, supervised e-learning in our rooms at 1:00, 12:30, whatever they are released from their school?
And
Are we gonna-
the other tricky piece is they'd need a place to eat.
Yeah. Yeah,
That's
this is a lot more complicated than just saying we're going to provide space.
There's a lot to think through.
Yep.
And
Yeah.
transportation. If like my kids are in the afternoon, so say they are at the Park District, they always used to get a ride. Is there a bus option now?
Well, we only have our small buses, and I think, Bob, how many do you figure we can carry and meet the 7 at a time?
Right now, just 7.
Yeah.
So it would coordinate, I mean, it really, Bob, you probably should be spending more time with the superintendents and seeing what is feasible and having significant discussions on what can be and can't be done. I don't know. I think it's not going to be easy. It's not going to be simple. It's going to be but I understand the problem we're going to have. There are people that and the worst thing of all is going to be they're going to leave their kids.
We met with Sean yesterday. We met with Kevin Carey today, and now we are going to continue having more and more in-depth conversations to work this out and see how we can, benefit these families and help them out.
Karen, I got a question for you. Does your union have to approve what plan the school comes up with, or no?
Well, I'm not sure. That's a good question. I will say they collaborated. Our 2 union presidents worked with all the administrators and 2 teachers from each school. And it was a real collaborative effort, what they came up with. And, then they presented it to the board last night and everybody really liked it. So it passed. But I don't know if it has to be approved.
Well, I was only bringing that up because I know the Chicago Teachers Union, of course, which is huge, they are adamantly opposed to anything other than classrooms. They don't want to have the children brought in at all. That's their union. And of course, their union carries a lot of weight. So they're against any type of
Yeah, their numbers are a lot worse though. That's why they split up into those 11 districts, right?
You know, Mike, I know you say that, but then I just heard on the news before the meeting, they said that Chicago is not as bad as some of the counties around us. I think the state number went up to 3.2, and I think Bob said ours is 3.0.
Yeah.
So the state went up to 3.2, and I'm assuming Chicago, I think Lori Lightfoot said Chicago was at 3.2 also. But there must be some counties that are doing worse. And neither here nor there. I'm not opposed to us getting involved in helping whatever we can, but there's a lot of things involved, Bob. Safety of our employees, safety of the children. You know, it's not just going to be an easy thing and say we're going to either go remotely to their school, because their school is still going to be in process with the kids being educated till probably, I would imagine you end school at about 3 o'clock, Karen.
Exactly.
So our step-in would either be to help the kids that are e-learning in the morning, giving them a place to come to where they can be safe and do their e-learning and not be at home alone, which I guess is the really ultimate danger in this, is that parents leave their children alone.
Jim, I will tell you, homeschool, which is the K-2 for Marker School District, it's over by the Clearton Hills Jewel, they are set up already to provide all-day care. They're planning to do this, but it's through an old agreement right now with the YMCA. That's been there for years. Did you know that, Karen?
No.
I didn't know that either.
The YMCA in Downers Grove?
Yeah.
That YMCA?
Yeah. And in fact, they provide the YMCA provides all the after-school care in the schools for Naperville. That's how it's done in Naperville. Sean's looking into that. He doesn't know much about it because he inherited it. It was just there. You know, is it a contract, an agreement? Is that maybe something better suited for us to help and work with them on? So we're going to follow up on that conversation. I know he had to worry more about the vote in unveiling this plan, but that is going to come into play. So that some of that's already happening at one of the schools.
I'd love to know how many of your residents that attend those schools, Karen, what percentage both husband and wife work. Be interesting to know what you're looking at numbers wise, because really the ones that should take priority, if you did, would be the ones where both parents work. That's the ones that are going to need some outlet now. But that's, if we're only going to come in after 3 o'clock, but now I'm thinking, the more I think of it, we got morning concerns, you got afternoon concerns.
Yeah.
Where are those children going to go when they hop on a bus? That bus, where are they going to take them? Home? Wow.
So I think whatever we do, we should focus on the younger kids, because the older kids can probably go home a little easier.
Well, our program has always been for elementary school. We've not provided this care for junior high, just because.
Okay, K-5, okay.
Oh, yeah,
All right.
we've got more kids than we can handle in K-5. The junior high kids are more capable of handling themselves. And that is our focus. Now, how does this impact other things if we are doing something throughout the day? Right now, some of the staff we would use, they work at the spray park. We're going to need those staff. The spray park, and this could be a greater need, a greater revenue source. The spray park may not be feasible to run it in September because we're going to need the staff from there for this. So these are all the things that we're considering and evaluating as we go through this. So every day we're having a conversation.
Well, will we have folks, because some of the limitations from some of the fall programs? Like, I don't know if we're running biddy basketball and those kind of things.
Well, biddy
in the fall.
basketball actually starts practices early December. games
Oh, okay.
in January. That's still a ways out.
We used to start it earlier, Mike.
Well, my
Last year
kids are
was
in
the
their
first
20s.
year where I think we actually started the Biddy Basketball League in January, which actually is good timing for us to do that.
Okay.
We probably should delay all of our indoor activities to after the first of the year if we can help it.
Yeah. I was given a commitment again by both superintendents to make their facilities available for basketball when Biddy basketball comes around. Said, we'll work it out. Don't worry. We're still going to make the gyms available. So that's where we're at.
I've heard my grandson told me that they think that a possibility for high school sports is moving things around. They were talking about making football in the spring.
I heard that too.
Yeah, maybe have it start in March. Skip football completely. I don't know how you're going to call in the middle of we're increasing and we're going to have kids start playing football August 15th and sweating and helmets on and spitting, and I just don't see it happening. So they were talking about maybe moving football to the spring, baseball to the fall. So, and then basketball, high school basketball, both girls and boys, wasn't going to start till January. And they would carry up till March or whatever. So that would be smart by the IHSA if they did it. I think whatever we can get out of, and baseball, by the way, guys, is really going on strong all over the place. Travel teams and
The problem with moving baseball, and they're talking about softball too, moving into the fall, is that daylight, you lose daylight so quickly. Like, it's dark by,
Play on our field. We've got lights.
well, that's true.
you'll have to,
So
we'll
few
have to-
schools have lights, they would have to,
yeah,
it would
you'll
be a
have to-
very, very short season.
Hey, they're going to make our gyms available for basketball. They can come and play every game here on this field in the
That
fall.
might work for us, yeah.
yeah.
And same with Diane Main Field 1 for softball. You
Yeah,
got lights. And
Yeah.
the weather for baseball, I'd much rather play baseball in the fall and be a parent
yeah.
watching in the fall than in the spring.
Yeah, that is true.
Whether it happens or not, I would assume that'll probably come out in early August because they got to make a decision on the fall sports.
They got to move
Otherwise,
pretty
they're going
quick,
to just,
yeah.
otherwise
so
they're just
far.
going to cancel them.
Okay.
Which
Well,
is a shame. I
they're
feel
working on a
bad for
plan to
kids
still have
that are
all three
seniors in high
seasons. They're
school
just,
this year. It's going to be a
moving
very
it
different
around.
year. But all we got to do, guys, I think, is live through this first semester. I got to believe we're going to have some type of antivirus to certainly by the first of the year. I think I heard today Trump's administration ordered 1 million doses of Pfizer has a antidote that's coming out. So hopefully we'll have something to combat this. We'll see. Now my wife and some of my people, they're saying they won't want to be the first ones to take it.
I was
But,
thinking the exact same thing, but I'm not taking that one.
Yeah. I
Take it
don't
if
know.
you take a life insurance policy out on me.
Yeah. Anyhow, okay, Bob, that's good. You got a lot of work to do to get us
Yeah.
info and find
Gosh.
out what we should do. I would say everybody, by just giving me a thumbs up, we're all for doing whatever we can do our fair share of.
To help out.
And
Yeah.
and
Flexibility
we'll
is
vote
name
on
of
it
the
at
game,
some
Bob.
point in time. But whatever, Bob, you can look into it and just make sure it's a big decision. And I know that people are going to need help. So this is a good time for us to do what's right. So
Yeah.
try to accommodate, but do it. You got to do it so we don't put people at risk too.
Absolutely. Yeah. And how
All right.
one of the ways we'll staff it is if this blows up and we've got to do more throughout the day, kind of co-supervisors of this. So, Edith, the performing arts group right now is shut down. They can't do too much. Edith would become kind of Rocco's sidekick with this. to make it happen. And if the days are going to be longer because we're doing something throughout the day, that's how we're going to do it. Then Miss Cindy, part-time, Miss Cindy would be a great room proctor. You know,
Yeah.
another way to use her as a part-time employee. So we're brainstorming. We're trying to put all the people in the right place to try and make this happen. On another note, we were able to get over to Westview Hills Junior High with the superintendent and see the new space and all the improvements over there and the stage. And Karen, I was really impressed. That school, I was shocked. I did not know it was that nice. And then that space there off the library and the way the rooms it's almost like a quad effect there. I'd never seen that before. It really is great.
Yeah, they did a nice job.
Yeah, and got to see your band room. Very nice.
Yeah.
Are you going to be there all by yourself in the band room doing the remote?
Yes.
Is that how it's done?
Yes. So we have to come out at passing periods and probably yell at kids about social distancing and
Put your
not
mask
having
back
their
on.
masks on, right? But then, yeah, during when they're in class, we'll be in class doing a Zoom lesson, but they want us
Okay.
at school doing those. So
Like, how many kids are going to be on that Zoom call? It just seems.
I know. Well, they're going to have only 15 per their regular classes, so it might be just 15.
Oh, that's doable. Yeah.
Right. The whole schedule is different because usually I have anywhere from like 50 to 100 kids in my class.
Well,
So
that's
that
what I
you
was
can't-
trying to picture, and I
Yeah,
couldn't
you
picture
can't.
you having a
But
Zoom
they're-
call with 50 kids.
Yeah, no, they're going to have it much more spread out.
So then you have all like the trumpets at one time and all the drummers at one time, or, how can you
No.
play songs if you have, oh, we don't have a trumpet, so we can't play that one. Oh, we don't
What-
have,
Yeah, you can't really do that on Zoom anyway.
oh,
There's feedback and there's delay, so it doesn't really work. What I do is I mute them all except one at a time. And then I'm like,
Oh.
okay, Bob, let's hear yours. Okay, Mike, let's hear yours. It's kind of nice to be able to mute the kids.
So, is there a chance we might need a music e-learning room at the Park District somewhere?
Oh, gosh, I hadn't thought about that. Band doesn't start until 5th grade, and we're talking about waiting this year. So I would say, I don't know. Yeah, they could probably do their music class with their buds. Yeah, I didn't even
Okay.
think about that.
All right, so yeah, that's right. It's just 5th graders because that's where they're introduced to music.
Yeah, that's
All
a
right,
good.
well, one thing at a time. I could not believe, though, you have multiple music teachers at Westview, 2
Mhm,
band rooms, because you have so many kids in the program.
mhm. Well, they're dropping though, because you can't e-learn band. It's
Yeah.
not fun. All the things they love about it, it's like being with your friends and playing concerts. You can't do those right now. So we've lost a lot, but hopefully we'll get them back someday when we're
yeah.
back to normal. Just
Okay.
it is what it is.
Well, that's what we've got going on. It's plenty. The activity though is really good. Field rentals are active. There's, we're doing everything we can, and it's real positive.
I got a
Good.
real nice letter from a gentleman that ran a baseball camp up at Tide Park. He had never come to our facilities before. Did you get it, Bob?
I did not.
Oh, I'll forward it to you. I must have sent it to me as president. I
Okay.
didn't know if everybody got it or if you forwarded it to me, but anyhow, a man wrote a really nice letter on how accommodating and how fabulous our staff is. That being Trini and
Oh,
whatever the
great.
other young fellow's name is, and I think John Chorney. But
Mhm.
I just, in passing, it was very nice. And I think he was there 2 weeks. What do we get for a guy that rents our for a couple weeks like that? Do you know,
It
Bob?
depends on how many hours he's there. You know, I don't know if he's there 2 hours, 5 hours, I don't know.
Okay. But it's roughly $50 an hour for our baseball fields, right?
I think that's 50 with lights, Jim. I could be wrong.
All right.
And then we got maintenance side. You know, the challenge we're having right now is, of course, when weeds pop, they all pop at once. And if you recall, all made the decision, no more Roundup, and we're not, especially in playgrounds, in trying to go around and attack all the playgrounds when they all pop with weeds at the same time. And that is our focus right now with one group, one crew, do nothing but that. I would love to bring in a couple more kids to help us out with this. We're out of vehicles. Don't have the ability to put them in a vehicle and then bring anybody else on and move them around. We're maxed on that. So we're doing the best we can with it. Some other things that are going to start here soon.
Well, Bob, wait a minute. Are your buses being used?
The buses?
Yeah, can't you load up 3, 4 guys on a bus and drive it up to wherever you're working? They're just sitting there idle, right? We're not transporting anybody right now, right?
That's true.
I'm just saying.
That interesting, Jim. It's an interesting thought, and I've never crossed my mind to use our buses for a maintenance purpose.
Anyhow, whatever.
Well, the wheels are already turning now that you brought it up. It's an interesting idea. We are going to, I'm trying next week to get this going, get some things done with bench pads. That includes benches up at Ty Warner Park, Jim, but also on the golf course. We've got to, now that we are putting benches back out on the golf course, we're going to have permanent bench pad locations for these. So the guys, they get off the mowers and they move them around and they're never in the same spot. They'll never have to get off the mowers because the bench will be on a permanent pad there off the tee. It'll be cleaner. And now our seniors are going to be very appreciative of that because they're going to have a place to sit on the golf course. So we can bring benches back out there now too. So,
and there's a movie Friday night, right?
yes. So we have our first of 2 movies coming out, movies in the park. So that is going to be happening. Of course, with social distancing, we're still trying to do as many programs as we possibly can.
It'll be good.
Any
be
other
nice.
questions?
No, is that it, Bob?
No. I could talk all day, but some of the other things were in the report. Remind me, did I have in my last Friday's report, the water damage in the museum?
No, I don't remember seeing that.
I didn't see it.
Okay, because we're still investigating. You know what? I think it was just brought to my attention. We must have a pipe leak in the museum, in the ceiling, that must feed the bathroom upstairs over the kitchen. If we had drywall in there, that ceiling would be laying on the ground. We have plaster. Plaster can tolerate it, but plaster is much more difficult to work with. We've shut off all the water. Alice is in the process right now of packing up the entire kitchen. We're going to pull all those contents out of there. We're going to plastic it off, and then we're going to bring in maintenance guys, and they're going to have to start busting into that ceiling, find the leak, and then we're going to have to patch it. It most likely will be an insurance claim for that. We've already started to take pictures. And as soon as we know what's going on, you know, we'll let you know and we'll resolve it. But hopefully it's just a simple repair of a pipe and we put it back, but we're going to have to find a plasterer, being that it is a museum and a historical building. We've got to put it back to what it was. So no drywall, it will be plastic.
And that's a law?
It's the right way to do it.
Well, Bob, the building looks like junk. We got peeling paint, we got stuff, and then you're concerned about whether we put drywall or plaster?
Yeah. I will get pricing, but if insurance is covering it,
Okay.
and I have a lead from an Eagle Scout interested in doing the porch on the museum.
That would be nice.
Oh, that'd be nice. That'd
The
be
Eagle
You know
nice.
how to do
Scouts-
plaster work or no? Huh?
Yeah, let's train the Eagle Scouts how to do plastering.
Yeah.
It's like about 5 times more money than drywall. Do you guys realize that? But I
It
get,
is-
I
it
know
is a
you have
lot,
to have
but-
some historical value. I get it. But it's funny, we got so much, you need windows, and maybe you're gonna have to, when we get through this pandemic, maybe next year, Bob, you're gonna have to start writing down, we're gonna have to budget and plan over the next number of years to put some money in there. Just so everybody's aware, we tax on behalf of our historical society, or we get the museum money for that building in the funds that come to us from real estate taxes. I believe it's about 45,000, Bob. And Bob
Yep, you're right in the
charges
ballpark,
off,
Jim.
part of Alice's salary, the heating, the electric, everything to run the building. And he's tried to make it as equitable and responsible as can be, but there probably is an excess amount that we should be reserved and holding to at some point in time make the repairs necessary to keep it up as a historical building. And that being, well, right now, I think we got bad windows, we got bad trim around the windows, we got a lot of things we haven't done in a long time. And just so everybody's aware, I hate spending the money on it, but we do tax for it. And I think we have an obligation to spend that tax money on behalf of the historical value or the museum value of that property, okay? I believe it's the oldest building in Westmont, is that what?
It is. Yes.
So it's an old building, guys, but we should start a plan of X amount of dollars we're gonna spend over the next number of years, and we should probably stick to it and do it.
Right now, we're sitting on a surplus of about $15,000 for the museum. And then there's money available every year for maintenance and repairs on that. Maybe $10,000. So it's got some money to do some of these things.
Yeah,
The
I would say right now is not the time, Bob, only because what we're dealing with, we got so many other things to accomplish and work on. But I would say somewhere next year, you can start coming up with a plan that we can all approve and fix up the building a little bit. We owe it to the museum group.
We're getting proposals on the windows because that is definitely needed on that. And we're going to do as much of this with the repair on this water damage as we can with our own staff. We're not
Bob, was
bringing in a
that-
contractor.
Bob, was that building declared a historical building? Is it got a classification?
Not with the state, but if, in terms
Well,
of,
I'm just saying your thing about is true. If you get it, this historical, whatever they call the status of it, then you have to comply.
Landmark status? Like,
Yeah, historical status, whatever. And I'm just saying, then I would agree with you. But, it's in such disrepair. I hate to spend we need windows, and I hate to spend money on doing plastering, and plastering is, you can't even tell the difference, guys. I could take you in the homes, you won't know, other than the plaster usually, you wouldn't know the difference between plaster. Anyhow. Someone hurting that pup?
Rob got home and I think he's telling his sad
Oh.
story about his day. Like we didn't play with him enough or something.
Wow, that's,
He's a speaker. Oh, wow.
wow, that's a hound.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah, he's,
Are we good, Bob? You're all set. Anybody have anything to comment they want to add?
No.
I believe our regular board meeting is 2 weeks from now, Bob, or is it 3?
Well,
Might be 3. Let me go to the calendar.
3.
I think it's 3.
Okay, so
yeah, 3 weeks.
what do you guys think?
Yeah.
Maybe because we got a lot of things maybe popping up, should we meet in 2 weeks or 1 week and then take the 2-week gap before the next our next regular board meeting, we'll meet in person again, just like we did. I
Right.
think it was safe. Bob did a good job setting that up. But I think we can do one more remote. Are you guys, what would you think? Next Wednesday, or do you want to make it 2 weeks away? Anybody going on vacation? No one.
I just have something next Wednesday. I couldn't do it because I'm
You
just
just
going with
answered
my
it.
mom
You just-
somewhere for the day, but I could do the 5th.
Yeah, Karen, I think you got a great idea. We'll go 2 weeks. You okay with that, Mike? 2 weeks? You're not going.
Yeah, I am. And it sounds like Bob might have a little bit more information at that time as far as what we're doing for the after-school programs.
There you go.
Mhm.
So
Right, because
Bob,
the
we'll
meeting
set
for
it up
Westmont's not till the 4th.
I believe it's the 5th, and then are you saying our meeting is on the 12th?
That's correct.
Yeah, it's the,
Okay, so we'll meet on the 5th at 5 o'clock. We'll do a Zoom. Remember what we talked about at our last open board, our public board meeting? Well, they're all public, but about looking for land,
Right.
seeing if you spot anything. Bob and I met with the mayor and the village manager, and
what?
I didn't call it.
we clarified everything. That's our money.
Jim Long
No
goes, is
doubt
someone
about it.
petting that pup?
Oh,
And that money has to be spent on land acquisition. Bob needs to get a lot more information before we go ahead and buy something, because we don't know exactly how we get it funded. But I would say, my mom used to always say, when I got money, it burned a hole in my pocket. When we get the approval for this money, let's burn a hole in our pocket and go spend it before they take it back.
Right.
So
I agree.
we've had the state take their money back a few times on us. So we will move quickly. So keep your eyes and ears open. If you hear or see, it would be nice if we picked up a site for either a natural area, just so we could put a park. We don't need a playground area or anything like that. We have an opportunity to maybe pick up something where we can keep open space. Okay?
Okay,
Okay,
yeah.
All right. Anybody want to make a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second, second by Karen. Roll call, Bob?
Commissioner Connolly,
Yes.
Commissioner Moffett,
yes.
Commissioner Long,
Yes.
Commissioner Zapinski.
Yes.
Okay,
All right. See you
One
guys.
reminder.
Stay healthy. What, Bob?
It will, everybody.
one
What do you got, Bob?
reminder, I know I put it in a board report, but Friday, Rick, we were talking about doing something at the golf course for his retirement, and he does not want that done. He's out. In fact, he's gone somewhere. We think he went up to Wisconsin. We don't know where he is right now.
Good. Okay. Keep it simple.
So no gathering.
No gathering.
No gathering for Rick. Okay.
All right. Thanks, Bob.
Okay.
Bye,
All
everyone.
right. Take
See
care,
ya.
you guys.
See you
Thank
guys on the
Take care.
5th.
Bye.
All right. Bye-bye.
See you guys Monday.
Yes, see you Monday.
Leave.